All righty, Matt Stein, Mr. the Guru Johnson. We're joined by Mark Willard and F.P. Santangelo. It's the crossover coming up in 10 minutes. What's Bugging You? Sponsored by ATCO Pest Control. What's up, gents?
I want to brag. Can I go first?
Go.
Steiny, let me go.
You can go.
And you know what I'm talking about. And you being a Major League Baseball player, you know about those closed doors meetings. I love team. I'm a team guy. Yesterday we had a show meeting.
Oh.
But it was a different type of show meeting. And some words came out, not anger. And I just came in today as feeling light as a feather. And there's nothing like just talking, guys. And, I didn't know that. And now I love this man. I've always loved him. But just when you get stuff out, words are powerful.
You went to therapy.
I used that earlier.
That's why people go to therapy.
Look at him smiling.
Yeah, and you don't even know that stuff is on your shoulder or your back or your thighs or your neck
right now,
guys.
Right.
Like that, yeah.
I don't want to go home.
Why don't we allow the true experts, the Division III basketball player and the former Major League Baseball player?
FP.
We'll talk about what team meetings can and can't accomplish.
Do you know what's funny? I sat up late for me last night watching, which means like past 7:30. But no, are you guys watching Full Swing? The Netflix.
I didn't see the second one yet.
I haven't seen the second one.
Second episode or second season?
Second season.
Okay, I'm on episode 3 of season 2.
Full Swing.
It's called Full Swing, and it was wildly successful last year. It was the first season. It was like eight episodes. So they brought it back. And a short time ago, I don't know, a handful of weeks ago, they released the second season. And I love, if we get nights, and we don't get many of them, my oldest son is a high school golfer at TAM, and I'll just text him. We do that. I don't have a house. I don't have a house that's big enough to text within it, but I still do it just because little guy's asleep. So I'll just text him, Full Swing, ? And it's one of the few things that can get him the hell out of his room. And he'll come up, sit down. We watched the third episode of Full Swing. Whole thing was about therapy. Whole thing was about sports psychologists.
Dude, I could do a whole show on that.
I bet you could. And there was one player who was very resistant to go. And he was down in his dumps, and he just wouldn't. Damn it, I'm not. I'm not going to work. And there was another guy, and it's Maddie, you'll remember the guy who won the U.S. Open last year. What's his name? Wyndham
Clark.
Thank you, Wyndham Clark.
I like him.
Wyndham Clark. I didn't know this about him 4 or 5 years ago. Hot mess.
His life.
On the course, angry. Couldn't do it mentally, just total hot mess. And he believes, and they told the story of him accepting sports psychology into his life and the direct line of where that went to winning not just tournaments, but a major.
Dude, I had a book by Carl Keel and Harvey Dorfman called The Mental Game of Baseball. And I carried it in my bag, my baseball bag that went in my locker. And so when they unpack your stuff, that book would always be on the shelf in my locker on the road at home. I had it highlighted, and it was all about visualization and breathing and goal setting and just approach on a daily basis. And I got it in A-ball, and I was about to be released. I started reading this book. My average went from like 095 to 300 in like a month. It saved my career. And so I had it highlighted, and it was just all tattered and torn. But then it became sort of my superstition thing that it had to be in my bag just in case I had a meltdown and had to go to page 48 and read that chapter.
What was the biggest lesson?
Wonder Boy.
To control what you can control. And there's exterior distractions reality checks was my biggest thing. Like, if I don't get a hit here, what? Like, I'm still going to go home to a wife that loves me and a family, and you put this undue pressure on you. But like breathing, visualization, you used to lay on the bed, listen to music, and I would see whoever's pitching that night and the ball coming out of his hand. And Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider was one of my favorite songs to visualize to. And I would see the ball going off my bat. And there was like 5 or 6 times throughout the course of 14 years where it happened exactly how I pictured it.
Wow.
And I'm jogging around the bases in a deja vu moment, just kind of freaking out as I'm running around the bases. Like, that's how powerful the mind is.
It is.
I'm big into mental health. It's one of my passions, and I'm big into sports psychology. I wouldn't be talking to you guys today if I didn't have that book. And every team has like 7 of those now. They travel around, and There's shrinks and sports psychologists everywhere. Those guys have everything at their fingertips now, everything they need. So did you guys end it with like a good 30-second hug where you just like embraced for about 30 seconds?
No, but it was.
I'll tell you what.
It was. Go ahead.
Oh, so we got uncomfortable in here.
No. What it was an example of leadership. It was one of my finest moments.
Oh, good God.
Quite frankly.
Wow.
Let's pull the curtain.
Pointed directly at himself.
This
That
is
was
good
amazing.
radio. I like this.
FP,
I thought you were going to give a compliment to Nahigian or something like that.
who deserves it all. He was the maestro of it all. And
He wasn't the maestro
Yes,
of it all. I went in there and said,
Okay.
I'm in a little bit of a rut.
But
and
not
he
we,
turned
you
me
said
around.
you.
I said me,
Okay.
but that's what leaders do.
Wow.
Extreme
Even
Ownership
if
is
it's
this
not-
book I'm reading by a Navy
Even if
SEAL
it's
right
not
now.
them.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Even if it's everybody else, you say, I'm in a rut.
Yeah.
And what that really means is my partner's killing me.
That is great. And I spend a lot of time with this man, 20 hours a week, plus the 2 or hour and a half before. And then I'll go to the cafeteria and we talk about our kids. We talk about everything but us. And sometimes you assume, I know everything that's going on with this man. And when it's so simple, but you kind of take it for granted. It's like we talk about everything sometimes except us.
I think that we're
And
at.
yesterday it was us.
And I know that our ages are not all the same, in this room. Like, I haven't turned 50 yet, but
Look at my guy.
no, but I like our age, or even maybe just being an adult. It becomes, I don't know if you guys experience this, it's very, very difficult to get to the point where you have time and feel ready to be like, okay, I'm the priority today.
Man.
I'm going to go take the time to work on me. Like, I don't even remember when the last time that happened. Just speaking for me, when you've got 3 kids and 17 jobs and a lovely partner, and you sort of intend to start every day a certain way, and 3 minutes later, next thing you know, it's 11 at night, and you're like, never got to it. Never got to any of it.
That's deep, man.
Because you're just running around doing all the stuff. And so, maybe that's what you guys experienced. And I've had actually a lot of people even say this to me very, very recently, where they're like, you know what, it might be good if you just, let's look at you for a second. You know what I mean? And take that time.
What did you say? Self-care. Is that what that book you're reading?
Yeah. Self-care.
Did
go
you
in and
hear-
talk to Father Nahigian. Go into the confessional.
I've been in there all week.
just go
I've
in
been
there.
in there all
Father-
week.
You have.
Yeah.
Were your ears burning last night?
Why?
Because I was talking to you about you with my buddy Dana.
Uh-oh.
As we were watching some games.
There's that word buddy again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a man.
Was it your friend?
He was a friend.
If it's your friend, it's a girl. I just learned. If it's a buddy, it's a guy. I just learned that.
Yeah, that's a true story.
I went out with my friend last night.
His/her name is Dana, so you make up your own mind whether it's a.
that could
like,
go either
here
way.
it comes,
and there's
Pat.
nothing wrong with that.
So we're talking about FP's name came up, and I'm like, just getting to know him. He seems cool. And so I'm like, and Guru's name came up, and I said, Guru wants to talk to FP about Warren Cromartie and Ellis Valentine and Andre Dawson. It's like, all I want to talk to FP about is what's Montreal like? Montreal, I've heard unbelievable. But I do want to ask you, where were your minor league stops?
I started in Jamestown, New York. I was there for 1 day, and then I got promoted to high A ball right out of college in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Nice.
West Palm Beach was
Florida.
a nice place.
Yeah.
I had 13 spring trainings there because that's where the Expos used to be and the Nationals. So no West Palm Beach. Well, the Double A was Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the capital.
yeah.
How was that?
That was
Yeah.
Not Florida, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people there. Let's just say that we're close to the 3 Mile Island thing.
Okay, wow.
That is
And I'll
true.
leave it at that.
I got you.
Like 3-headed fish in the river and stuff. But Harrisburg was cool. And then Indianapolis, Indiana for a year. Was
Underrated.
AAA. Great city. Went to the 500. Sick.
Yep.
And then the team moved to Ottawa, Canada. So Ottawa was the AAA team for the last 3
I've been
years.
to Ottawa a few times. I kind of like it.
Great city.
Yeah.
There's a big league city with a AAA team. It was great. They treated us like kings.
Yeah, it's a capital of Canada.
Canada Day is
it's
the
their
best
Washington,
holiday ever.
Really?
They shut down the whole city, and it's just a bunch of Canadians drunk. It's awesome. And they're like, I'm half Canadian. Like 3 years in AAA Ottawa and 4 years in Montreal.
Did you learn French?
Just the national anthem. That's it. By osmosis. But yeah, those. I mean, cool stops. It was fun.
So the city itself, it's like everybody speaks English, but they also speak French. Or how's that work?
Yeah, I think it's Quebec, so it's a French-speaking province, and I think French is the first language.
But you didn't have to learn it.
No.
Okay.
Everybody speaks English.
Did you try FP?
I just know dirty words and stuff like that, and dirty phrases that the clubhouse kids teach you. You know, that kind of stuff.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. It's time for What's Bugging You, sponsored by ATCO Pest Control. What's bugging you? We'll start out with Goo today.
All right. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I remember in the 80s and 90s, you got your mail by 5, maybe 5:30 on a bad day. Last night it was about 8:50, 8:55. I didn't know if a 211 was in progress. I got startled at home, and there was the mail truck and the guy dropping off a package. I went and got it, and I looked in the dark. Like, it's damn near 9 o'clock. I know there's more people on Earth, but my goodness, what happened to the deadline about 4:35? Why is the package, and why am I startled thinking somebody might be trying to break into the house at 8:50? I'm not better than anybody, but I have questions, guys. And I now see the mail truck on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Really?
Yeah, on a Sunday. That used to, kids are playing Little League and everything on Sundays. That used to be the family day. But I just got questions as to why is it taking so long? That's what's bugging me.
I have noticed that too, though.
I got scared, like, who's breaking in, and the door is heavy. He's slamming the door. I'm like, oh.
There's all kinds of thoughts. I don't know what it was about, and I have sympathy here, but something about COVID took a handful of industries in a direction where they're just like, you can't ship stuff anymore.
I feel bad now.
Right, no, you can't figure it out anymore. You can't get product anymore. Things can't get from point A to point B. But then Amazon is over here in the next box, and they're like, we'll have it there in 4 minutes. Exactly. Like, hit submit, and we'll be at your door 5 minutes later, like a fire truck. Like, what on earth? So I don't know. But the other thing that comes to mind when you say that, there's also something, and it's our boy Sebastian Maniscalco, who's coming to Chase Center.
What a name.
He has a bit about people coming to the door in 2024 or 2023 or whatever that is so funny, because there's something that happened in the last 20 years. Like, people used to go to each other's houses.
Yeah.
Just drop by, right? And he's got this whole thing about how mom would always have food just in case, because someone might drop by. If you come to someone's door now, I mean, you want to call the police right away.
Man.
Dogs are going crazy. Everybody's hiding. You can't come to my door. And to your point, at 9 at night,
oh my goodness,
people are looking at each other in the house like, do you know someone?
Get ready.
Did you call someone to tell them they could come over? What's going on? So I get it. It startles the hell out of you.
It's new. Yeah.
FP?
What are we doing?
What's bugging you? Sponsored by ATCO Pest Control.
It's a handoff thing. Yeah.
His mind went.
Well, I had to go pick up.
I
had to go pick up a prescription at the Target on Mission.
Sure.
And I'm coming to the show, and I want to get here early. There's a nerd convention in town. They're all out with lanyards everywhere. It's like a zombie apocalypse of nerds right now. I don't know what's going on.
You didn't ask them what they're actually doing.
They all look super smart.
I saw a lot of lanyards.
And I'm sure their bank accounts are way better than mine.
Look at him.
But man, there is a dork convention in town right now, and I don't know what it's for.
And that's why I'll be out and about.
And it was bugging me because the sidewalks were packed. I mean, there's so many people. I guess it's good for the city. If I'm thinking
we should ask them if you can effectively do a wire transfer without
what's going on there.
Individual approval. Just see what they say.
Oh man,
I don't think question for you.
I don't think they're good at random conversations. Well, there's a lot of them though. There's just I don't know what it is. Is there a tech
There's
bro?
something.
It's like tech bro.
I saw the company. I didn't recognize it because it's.
Anyways,
they do something with computers.
There's an infestation right now.
Yes. I'll go. apparently there's some noise being made about expanding the NCAA tournament. Expanding it. No, I said expanding it.
I haven't heard this, but I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either, but you gotta be kidding me.
What's the format? Like to what?
They would go up to 96.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they would go up to 96. There's 64 now, plus the play-ins, so probably got about 70. But I guess, what is it, 48? 96 would be a perfect draw. And there's talk about doing that. Meanwhile, Guru is saying that Stetson's down to Connecticut 50-11 right now.
It was, yeah.
But we should expand the
spread
tournament.
And then we had a game earlier where the spread was 57 point, minus 57 FP. That game shouldn't even be scheduled.
74-42 right now.
It's a game developers conference in the city.
That's
video game.
Game developers.
Action tonight.
So I nailed it.
You did.
I nailed it.
Be nice to them.
I absolutely nailed it.
Be nice to them. They're making bank.
Are they really?
And they're going to go spend it some hole.
They ain't going on a date tonight, I'll tell you that.
Boy.
There's somebody for everybody.
So that bugs you, huh, Steiny?
A little bit. We expand too much now. It's always been my pet peeve.
Give everybody a ribbon.
FP, I grew up on a baseball system that had 28 teams at one point, 7 in 4 divisions, and 4 teams made the playoffs. 4 of 28. Do the math.
Wow, man. That's
what, 12%?
When the Expos and Pirates were in the NL East. Remember
now
back
there's 12
back
of
in those
30.
days.
Well, I'm glad you
I wonder why Andy Pettit, of all the pitchers in baseball, leads in postseason wins. It's because he got to pitching more than anybody else. I just don't like, and that makes it impossible to compare years.
I'm glad you brought up expansion. And
are you going? Is it your turn?
well, is it?
What's
Yeah, you're
bugging?
last.
All right. What's bugging you?
I'm glad you left me until last because I really would love to hear what you guys think about this. So, Pacers are in town tonight, and we're looking at this. And I just had a moment of clarity, if you will, by looking at the NBA standings and sort of having a moment of, what the hell are we doing? What are we really talking about here? The fact that the play-in tournament has been produced, and I don't dislike it. I'm here for it. But it has fooled us. It has completely fooled us into thinking that whatever it is that's going on with the Warriors is not as bad as it actually is.
Wow, damn.
We are sitting here stressing out over 10th place in one half of the league. And I'm like, what is that? There are more teams ahead of them than behind them. And we're sitting here going, well, but if, and this, what?
You looking at me.
All of us. What are we really talking about? And if the Warriors are being real with themselves, what are they saying behind the scenes? I know what Steve says to us every week when he comes on. I believe in these guys, and boy, you get to watch out, give us a shot. Are we really looking at this going, well, but if, and then twist that, and then take a right turn at market, and then maybe put one finger in the air, and maybe we can come back next year and make this look like this, that, or the other. 10th place in one half
I
of
got
the league?
for you.
Well, if
I mean,
that's the thing. And I get it. It's a hypothetical, but if there were no play-in, like there wasn't 5 years ago, season be over.
correct.
Like we'd know they're not going to the playoffs for the most part, pretty much, and that's it. They're not going to the playoffs. They're a lottery team.
And God forbid the Rockets catch them.
No, and that's what we
See,
just.
but I'm going to push back a little bit because
Okay.
I got a big diamond ring in my pocket at home from a team that won a wild card game.
But
The Giants in 12 won a wild card
But this
game
isn't a
and won
wild
the World
card. But this
Series.
isn't a wild
It's
card
the
game.
same thing.
Yeah, but what was their record? It's not the same thing.
And if they get in, these guys have resume and credential in the NBA playoffs
So
to
you're
be
not
able
giving up.
to be able to make a run,
Remind me,
to play the games that they're used to playing that mean a lot more than the ones they're playing right now.
the wild card game back then was 4th and 5th place play for 4th, correct? So out of 15 teams, you needed to be in the top third, and you needed a record that was well over 500 in order to achieve that game.
Or right
correct?
around 500. No, just right around 500.
I'm going to look up the standings that year. What year are we talking about?
Was it 12?
12?
Was 12 the year they won the World Series as a wild card team? I'm trying to think.
When
The
they beat
Giants.
Pittsburgh, they
I
beat the
think so.
Pirates.
Yeah,
when they beat the
Was
Pirates.
that Crawford's
With the
home run?
Grand Slam.
That was
Okay.
2014.
Yep.
Oh, that was 14?
2014.
Okay.
2014?
So they won a World Series as a wild card team.
Yes.
And a
correct.
team that had won 2 before, that guys knew what they were doing in the month of October, that had resume and knew what it took to win a championship, and a manager who had won a couple himself and been to a World Series of Padre. So there's parallels with a coach that's been there and done it, and a bunch of guys that have 4 rings in their locker.
the Giants went 88 and 74 that year.
So just, that's a good record.
And
It's not great.
And they were, let's see,
Are the Warriors 5 games over right now?
I think you both have good points.
they're 3 games over. Yeah, they're 3
Is
games
that you learned that in your
over
meeting?
500.
No, that's-
Is that what you guys
Dude,
went over in
that
the
is-
meeting? Goo, you have a really good
I
point.
mean, the way
man.
You
the
got
way-
you got
Steiny,
you
you're
got
the best.
15 teams, and you needed to be in the top third, and you were 14 games over 500, and you had to, when you win 1 game to move in, you're already in the Final Four. You're already in the Final Four. The 10th place, there are way more teams ahead of you than behind you, and for you to even get into the playoffs, you have to win 2 games on the road against good teams. And at that point, you make the final 8 and probably go against the champs in a 7-game series right away.
I'm not saying
And you've
I
earned every
parade on
part of
Market
that.
Street.
I know what you're saying.
You're making great points.
I know what you. Well, so are you. But I know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Did we get a hug? For
I do
that?
think- I
Did we
do
get a
think
hug
that-
for 30
This,
seconds?
this
now?
love thing's really in the room.
But
go
I
ahead.
think the Warriors have earned the right to be eliminated before you bury them. Like I'll
not-
even say that.
I'm not
like if the
burying 'em.
Warriors hadn't won a title even 2 years ago or never were a champion, I'd be laughing all year for.
Totally.
But then again, I don't think people would be talking about it unless they had a title 2 years ago.
I guess what I'm saying, I'm not burying them. I'm more maybe even looking
Because I'm going to tell you
looking
what
at
it
us.
sound like to me.
I'm maybe looking at us, or I think the larger point is I hope that the Warriors don't make the play-in tournament and then lose, and then as an organization head into the offseason and feel like they're close.
Willard,
I don't think Lacob would think that.
I hope
40
not.
minutes ago, Willard, I said to Steiny, does it really matter the fact that they're here and they're looking behind themselves and looking at Houston? If they go in and lose, is that going to pause plan A? Or are they sounding like you? Because everything FP said is in my heart. He read my heart. Like, let's watch it and see what they do. Anything can happen.
For sure.
But is Joe Lacob really like, are we really 10th? Is this how we're getting? And is that
mean,
going to stop? Any success in the playoffs going to stop?
I think Joe
what
Lacob-
plan A is going? I just said
I think
that
he
to
needs a
Steiny.
serious run. Joe Lacob needs a serious run.
I would hope so. We're watching a basketball team that you
That San
all of us
Antonio
too.
game broke
you
me,
poor
man.
folks out there who are scraping together their dollars to maybe go to Chase Center one time, and you got a 50-50 shot of them winning the game.
Wow.
Come on, man. What is this? What is this?
Yeah, FP, it ain't over. But
The reason we're talking about it and the reason we're throwing it around is because of what they've done in the past and who they have right now.
No doubt.
There's a
And
lot of
there's-
resume. There's a lot of jewelry.
And there's no sweeping that under the rug.
Yeah.
And I'm not here like boycotting the game. Like I like the play-in tournament. It's interesting. It brings in a different dynamic. It makes it harder for the teams that just sneak into the playoffs. I am pro play-in tournament.
Mark, they may not even get that.
They may
Houston's
not.
coming, and I hate every part of it.
I just wonder. I wonder if we're letting the play-in tournament make us feel like everything is still at least close to okay.
I think there's absolutely something to that.
But
for
nobody
sure.
will take 10th around here. That's nothing
Well,
to
if
write
you
home.
ride
It's
it to
almost
an NBA
embarrassing.
title, they
Mark,
will.
Because they were 6 last year, Mark.
The reason that leagues do this and expand the playoffs is just what you said.
Yeah.
So that a fan base can stay interested in their team longer than they normally would. And
do you-
get excited about something that's manufactured by new rules.
Here's the other whopper though about this. Like, don't you, and I do feel this, don't you feel like there's a feeling even within the team at times of like, nah.
Curry sounded like that.
That
And
answer Curry
Draymond.
gave that-
And Draymond.
that- yeah.
Draymond on his pod is like, come on, man. Like, I'm supposed to get up for this?
I'll tell you what, and I'll
And
leave you
that-
with this one. I know
yeah.
we're up against it. what's scaring me about the league. If I'm Adam Silver, we got Ant-Man and all kind of beautiful young talent.
Yeah.
If you're telling me there's a scenario, and it is, where LeBron and Curry are not in the NBA playoffs, that's a changing of the guard right there.
Well,
That's like
If
Shohei
the
Ohtani
Lakers
getting suspended.
and Curry don't get in, two of the biggest stars.
the NBA it's like the Mutual of Omaha. It's Wild Kingdom. Nobody feels sorry for LeBron or Durant, Steph. On 95.7, The Game. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You guys should go hug now.
Yeah, go hug it out. You guys are too nice.